Okay, so today we're going to be looking at monomials times polynomials again, and we're going to be looking at them with a few more variables. Okay, so go ahead and make sure your Desmo Scientific Calculator is open in case you need it, and go ahead and start working on these two problems. I will catch up with you in just a minute. Okay, let's see how you did. So remember back to yesterday, where we had to multiply the coefficients and add the powers. So -3 times 2 is -6, and 3 is going to give me 6. There's my first multiplication. Let's go again. -3 times -12 is a positive 36. And how many m's do I have if I have a 3 and a 2? I have a 5. Multiply again. -6. And how many m's if there's a 1 and a 3? That's a 4. And my last multiplication, -3 times 25 is -75. And I just have the 3 m's. Just the 3 m's. Okay, let's look at this next one. So this one has multiple variables. So 4 times 2 is going to give me 8. And my t's, there's a 3 and a 2, so that's 5. And remember, the u has a 1, so 1 and 2 is going to give me a 3. So there's my first term. And my second one, 4 times -10 is going to be a -40. And I have a 1t there, so 1 and 3 is 4. And 1 and 4 is 5. So there's my second term. And my third term, 4 times 2 is positive 8. And I see there's no variables here, so the t, 3, and the u are just going to drop. They're just going to drop. Okay, here's a few more. These we're going to distribute and simplify, okay? We're going to distribute and simplify. So we're going to be combining the terms as we distribute, or once we distribute, to kind of make sure that everything is together and in simplified form. So let's go ahead and look at our first one. So a 4 times t squared, or t times 4t squared would give me 4t cubed. If I go again, I have 15t squared, and then I have a positive 4t. So there's my first set. And now I'm going to multiply here. Remember, this is a -4, so -4 times 3 is a -12, and a -4 times -1 is a positive 4. All right, so I need you to think back to like terms. Do I have anybody else who has a t cubed? No, so that one drops. Do I have anybody else that has a t squared? No, so that one drops. Okay, so now I'm looking at t's, and I see that these two are like terms, so I'm going to add them. So what is 4t plus a -12t? So 4 plus -12. Get your calculator open here. Remember to use that if you're struggling, especially with negatives. So 4 plus -12 is going to give me a -8. So minus 8t. And then my positive 4 doesn't have anybody to hang out with, no like terms, so I'm going to go ahead and drop that. Okay, go ahead and try this next one. All right, let's see how we did. So 3x 3 plus 4x plus 14x minus 6. And then like terms, I see that this one does not have anybody to hang out with, so it's just going to drop. I see that I have like terms here and here, so if I add those together, 4 plus 14 is an 18, and my minus 6 is just going to drop. All right, let's look at this last one. So this one has lots of variables, so we'll have to see if we have anything that's the same when we're done. So if we multiply here, we have a -2 d4c squared. So that's my first one. If I go to the next one, negative times negative is a positive, so positive 8 d squared c squared. And the third one is going to give me a -4 d3c, because I've got a 2 and a 1. So that's my first set. And I got to keep going. So I have c squared, remember that's a 1 and that's a 1. So a positive 1. And I'm going to go ahead and leave the D's first just because that's how all these are. So a D and a C4. And then 1 times -3 is a -3 D4C squared. Okay, so do I have any of them that are the same? Well, I see that I have this one right here and this one. So those are the same. Do I see any other ones that are the same? I don't. So I'm just going to put these two together. So -2 plus -3 is going to give me a -5 D4. Oops, I need a C, not a D. D4 C squared. And the rest of these I'm just going to drop. So I'm going to go ahead and just drop these down, and then we'll talk about order here in just a second. Okay, so since they have the D's first, let's go ahead and put these in order according to D's. So if I am looking at these guys, I notice I have D's and C's and I have D's all by themselves. So since C comes before D, then these two would actually be in the right order, but these two would actually have to switch. So if I was going to write this according to D, I would leave my D's first here, but I would switch to write my D4 and my -4D cubed in a different order, just simply because the D4 is bigger than the D3. Okay, the D4 is bigger than the D3. All right, let's do 2 more, and then we'll start working on some homework. So go ahead and hit pause, see what you can do with these, and I'll catch up with you. All right, so we have 18g squared minus 9g squared, cubed, I need a 3 there, plus 3g squared plus 12. And I see that these two are like terms, but I also know that this one needs to go first. So -9g cubed, because that's my biggest. If I add these two, 18 plus 3 is going to give me 21g squared. And I'm going to go ahead and drop my 12. All right, let's distribute here. So -8a cubed plus 2a squared plus 4a plus 18a squared minus 12a. Again, the one that has the most powers is the -8. Looking for like terms, I see I have a 2 and an 18 that are the same. So +2, +18, if I add those, is going to give me a +20a squared. Remember, I'm adding, so my powers do not change. And I have a 4a plus a -12a, which is going to give me a -8a. So that is my final answer. All right, so let's go ahead and do some practice today. Reach out to us if you are struggling. And we're going to move on tomorrow to multiplying binomial products.